Hi everyone, my name is Renata Galvão. I am a partner manager at LSEG Risk Intelligence, and today we will be discussing risk in the supply chain and also third-party risk in general. Joining me today to discuss this topic, we have Constantine Malaxos. He is the Vice President of Global Partners and Alliances at ProcessUnity. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Good to be here.
Great to have you here. So Constantine, the supply chain in general is becoming extremely complex. So many different things to check, and being unable to detect those different types of risks that you might have in the supply chain can have really extremely serious repercussions for organizations, from reputational risk, financial risk, and also risk to the bottom line. So can you talk with us a little bit about what kind of checks organizations must have in place to be able to detect those risks in others? And also, what are the consequences if they don't stay on top of this?
So, there's a lot of words that we use to talk about supply chain risk, third-party risk. People out there might be familiar with vendor risk management. We have a lot of acronyms, we have a lot of names. All it comes down to is understanding who you're doing business with. And why is this important? And we could look at, from a historical perspective, what was the impetus to begin third-party risk management? And it has to come down to 2008 and 2009, the financial meltdown. And so regulators were asking the banks, who are you doing business with? And the answer was, I don't know. And so it is critical to understand that supplier is not a supplier that is poor on ESG, uses slave labor, has been known for financial crime. And so what does that mean for an organization? It means not after you've onboarded a supplier or a vendor to understand what the risk is. It's right at the beginning. Why should you be even interested in an organization that's been fined for bribery? You don't want to do that. And so it is critical for your reputation, not only in the market if you're publicly traded. There's plenty of instances out there where this stuff goes public, and you lose a significant amount of valuation to your shareholders. It's also to your buyers, to the relationship that you have with your customers. If they find out that you're doing business with someone known for slave labor in some part of the world and you didn't do the proper due diligence, it really hits your bottom line.
ProcessUnity is a great partner of LSEG Risk Intelligence. We work a lot together in the market. And your organization serves so many corporates around the United States, UK, all around the globe. What are the challenges that you find your customers face or find the most difficult to deal with?
So the first thing is, as risk professionals, we're always asked to do more with less. And what's interesting, we're in a dynamic environment. So I give the example always that in 2019, I was in a conference in London. It was all risk professionals. It wasn't people who are not risk professionals, and they were asked what's important in 2020. Now, the responses were interesting in that operational resiliency was last. And so 6% of the risk professionals in that team, and in that conference, really didn't know what was going to happen in 2020 because 100% of those risk professionals were worried about operational resiliency in 2020 and 2021. So what's a constant in our industry is the dynamic piece of it. You don't know what you don't know. And sometimes when organizations start their path with third-party risk, it's a regulator. And we know that with banking, the banking regulators really pushed on organizations, banks, understanding who they're doing business with. With corporates, it's different. An event happens. Maybe a vendor goes out of business. And so financial viability is important. And they'll sit there and they'll start their journey to say, okay, how do I make sure the vendors that I'm onboarding and the vendors on an ongoing basis through continuous monitoring are financially healthy? What's pretty common, though, is information security events. And so you might have the chief information security officer pushing their organization to sit there and better manage and allocate budget to sit there and know who they're doing business with and make sure that if their security posture declines, that they know immediately. It's critical. So when you ask the question, what challenges, it's the dynamic nature of risk. It's making the wrong choice. So a majority of our business is from organizations that picked a platform that was competitive to ours, that met a dead end. Maybe they're experts at bribery and corruption. Maybe that platform can help you with financial viability. There's very few platforms that could handle many risk domains. They may have picked the wrong data provider. One thing that's certain when you work with LSEG and ProcessUnity is you have best in class. And it's critical to understand that there's no red easy button that you could sit there and press, and I fully manage risk now. You need technologies and partners that will grow with you. And so I would say that one of the biggest challenges is making the wrong choice.
Love that. Choose wisely. And Constantine, maybe we can finish talking a little bit about what does the ideal world looks like for third-party risk? What lays ahead in future?
So realize that this is a journey. We had our user conference and we had our most mature customer in dealing with risk give an explanation of what the end goal is for everybody. And then I had a lot of customers come to me and say, I want that. And I explained to them it's a journey, and start at step one. Step one is identifying within your organization what type of people you have in place, what skill set, what type of technologies. Don't try to take more than you could chew, right? And it's that famous line, how do you eat an elephant? It's one chew at a time, right? I mean, and if you look at risk, where you are today is not where you're going to be tomorrow. It's a journey. Make the right decisions, have the proper platform in place, have the proper partners in place, and sit there and realize once you bring in data and once you bring in a platform to manage that data, you're going to learn things. Today, you're not going to know what your needs are a year from now. Realize that your needs are going to change and you'll have to change with it. It's not something that you go out, I buy once, and I don't have an issue anymore and I don't have to think about it anymore. Managing risk is constant. It does not change.
Thank you so much, Constantine, for joining us.
Thank you.